Hi everyone, my name is Nuray V.Z. and this is about my professional journey and vision, ISG personal management. Who am I? I'm a professional with over 40 years experience across three distinct fulfilling occupations. What ties my journey together is a deep-seated passion for human touch, connecting, supporting, and empowering people. And my career is built on three pillars: care, leadership, and people development. Nursing was first of it, and then I started where I was very young in boarding school. So I had my obligation term, which was in Eskişehir. And when I finished, I realized it's not the one I would like to live forever. Nevertheless, I did. And in the meantime, I found a way to go to university, and I studied parallel while I'm working. But that business taught me a lot about empathy, care, and direct human connection, certainly established the core values guiding my entire career. When I was back to Istanbul after finishing my obligation and university, I started with banking, and banking was one of the options between insurance and banking sector. I chose banking. It started with Yapı Kredi. It was like general banking in the branch, in Elmadağ branch. After 3 years, I realized again, it's not enough, so I had to add something. For a long-term investment, I went to England because my English was not enough, so I needed to improve. I stayed there for 2 years, could stay longer and go to France and French language also, but I said I'm getting old. I went back to Istanbul. And this time I changed the line in banking to move to stock exchange. There I served individual investors with very high intensity trading, multiple client management. Maybe you know the screen there. You manage, up to 6-7 people at the same time with a very high stress. So I'm always used to working in pressure management. That I got the skills anyway. In time, certainly I improved my career. I became branch manager, and then in the last bank, which I changed a couple of, Anadolu Yatırım, I managed around 30 branches nationwide. There I was responsible for business development and coordinating. And these certainly add up my leadership, organizational skills, and pressure management, as I mentioned. And ISG was not really in line, but it became a sort of a perfect option for me through Andreas. While I was working, I was sneaking in kids and uncovering people's potential through their CVs, career histories that opened me in many ways, which I would never imagine. Then I realized there's a life after banking. And because of the nature of the business, I became general manager of ISG Turkey with full legal responsibilities, and was responsible of overseeing operation, finance, compliance, like İşkur and others, and all official aspects. And certainly parallel building a dynamic HR consulting operation from the ground up. So what I do, it's my daily routine. I'm involved in every key decision because I'm responsible. Business development is certainly there is a target companies between 50 to 2,000, building new partnership. Consulting is I wrote 8+, but you know how it goes, sometimes 10, sometimes even more. Engaging with active clients, candidates, matching them. Networking is aligned with every action. So whoever I talk is about business opportunity and develops many new doors. And coordination, I'm the primary contact for consultant and customers' insurance efficiency. So what to expect from me is actually 2 words I found, which are quite meaningful for me, at least from my end. I'm reachable at any time, readily available on short notice. That's an advantage for both customers, consultant, and the candidates. That has a lot of meaning because they can get the result in a short term. and the goal is anyway, delivering a result, creating value, ensuring everyone I work with that they can rely on my full support. And what I expect from you is I have some legal responsibilities for ISG. So a couple of lines I put here: accountability. We are here for you and for ourselves, but that is our own business, your business and your responsibility. Dedication is requiring minimum 8 hours. Doesn't have to be at the computer, but in your mind, you have to be always active. Performance. We recently talked about certain numbers that requires from your side minimum 20,000 yearly turnover, euro, which is nothing on your level, we know already. And the best is closing 8 to 12 projects per year, which is enough minimum to sustain the business and beneficial business to create for your own self. Engagement, participating and contributing to every meeting is crucial. Innovation, certainly, as the world moves very fast, we have to be always bringing new ideas, discussing. That should be constructive ideas, can be critical also. And professional relationship is one of the base also, building a strong mutual beneficial connection. As final, ISG is more than a business for me. It's a source of daily satisfaction. I'm motivated by being productive and effective and take pride of achieving meaningful result. And thank you for your attention. I look forward to working together, building productive partnership and achieving success as team. So that's me. Any question regarding my background, regarding my responsibilities?
Can you compare banking sector and the consulting sector? What are the favorite things for this sector?
This one.
Yeah.
This is my favorite. Yeah, banking is actually requiring for me, it was from my side, one-to-one, a lot of detail on the specific need of the customer, and that was limited. So it's a small version of what we do at the moment. Here, I believe we multiply this with project size and number of project, sector and business. So actually, for any comparison, we are doing 10 times based on the project number or more times same business what I did in banking. But in the base, it's always talking. So if you like talking, it doesn't matter.
I can ask a question. How did you decide to join ISG? What was your motivation in joining ISG?
There were many. First, that became family business. My journey was ending, and there were many indications from the company. When you finish, if you are still there, the force is somehow pushing you out with some other indicators, and that was my term in the bank. I actually quit twice. When I had GEM, I quit once, so I didn't want to work there anymore, but they called me back. Then I became retired. I still continue. So in the same company, I went already. So I guess having longer was already a stretch. So that was a good way to do so. And honestly, finding out other businesses was the biggest motivation. There I said, okay, I can still be active and don't have to depend on anything. That was the motivation.
How long did you work in banking sector?
I guess 25.
Mm.
Between 88 up to 2012. Is it more? Oops, okay, more.
It is 24 years.
Okay, almost done. Yeah, I graduated from university 88. 2 years you can drop for England, but over 20 years, let's say.
Thank you.
After Yapı Kredi, which bank was actually, I missed that point, Anadolu Yatırım Bank?
That was the end. quit Yapı Kredi when I was in England. Then I was back for, on that time, Tütün Bank, Yaşar Bank, short. I entered with this. Then Dış Bank, all yatırım. Then Express, again yatırım. And then we went to Esteem, Anadolu, because Express Bank was taken by the government. I was there, but not the yatırım though. But we find a way through the manager. So whole team, we moved to Anadolu Yatırım because the ex-team, I guess, were somehow out. So we placed ourselves like 10 people or something. So 4 or 5 banks, or even 7.
I think it was the time the way the banking sector was very, very lively and keep opening new banks. I remember like Marmara Bank was opened and then closed, and then actually, I mean, a nice phase of banking sector in Turkey.
It was
We were lucky.
it was very nice term, because once you are part of team, first you have the power. Job is nice, quite, eligible job, quite regulated, which is easy to, stand for. So you are secure, you do the right things. You have to develop yourself a lot. Because I remember for stock exchange, in the very beginning, I had no idea. I learned certainly in time. But doctors, lawyers were all involved in stock exchange because it was a new sector where people could make a lot of money out of it. And there was no regulation at all. It was on blackboard with the handwritten operation in Karaköy. And then switched to other base like electronic and such things, and they then eliminated other occupations. You were supposed to be only like economy, business, lawyer, and such things to enter, because then you had to be certified to do so. So over 20 years, there was a huge development with SPK and regulation. Anyway, one of the most regulated sector is banking, and the other insurance. I guess that's the reason I was more interested, because it's much easier when the rules are set with the system, then you can improve. Other sectors are a bit like wavy, and these are quite, this is how I like military system.
I have a question. As you were leading 30 branches and over 100 people in these branches, they were all employed. And now you are leading an organization of franchise partners. What's the biggest difference for you?
There are advantages and disadvantages from my end, I would say. Advantages are I don't need to push them with the force what I'm responsible for, but reminding them that is their responsibility. It's their sake if they want to do it, and the system is ready. In bank, it was much easier because there's an order. I have to do it, you have to do it. There are certain things, unless you do it, sorry, everybody goes. And we had so many cases that we had to kick people out, new people. That I actually learned recruitment a lot because there was a huge circulation. But this way, what we are in, I guess, is really the best, because that's a mutual interest, right? Whenever I talk to new potential candidates, they ask so many questions, how and why and this. So it becomes always the end, how they decide. Unless they move, nobody would move and nobody would force, but they are naturally out of the business. So it's all natural or mutual, that everything should connect organically in our business if we want to be successful. And nobody can force you. It's just the reminding what I would like to do and what I do actually.
So don't you find it more challenging dealing with freelancers or franchise base than having your own employees, if you can say?
I'm always secure with my own decision. I like to make it secure, and I can move without anybody. This is my own personality. I don't need anyone. And if I'm strong for myself, and if somebody wants to use my strength, I can always help. But I never needed someone to push, pull, and I don't like this connection. This was in the bank necessary because I was forced also. But this is so natural. And if anybody doesn't want to move, I just let go. And for me, it's a freedom. But if somebody comes and put arm to arm, then that doubles the power. That's the, two end, very strong two end. And I choose to have the right one. So this is my approach. If nobody wants, this is their decision. And we are adult enough to make a decision.
Apart from family issues, I mean, son and Andreas, and you happy in Austria? It's still a bit military system, I mean, nothing changed, everything is defined. There's always guidelines, recleaning.
Yeah, personally, I like rules a lot because that comfort me.
That's it.
You can see this. And comparing to Turkey, Austria has a lot of rules where everybody is obligated to apply. Then you are secure. Then you can focus on your own process, whatever you do to improve. Comparing to Turkey, it's a jungle, right? We all know. So you have to be much stronger to build up your own system. If necessary, fight against, which Austria, as far as I see, doesn't have this. You don't need to be individually strong because system protects you in every sense. So it's much easier. The quality gets higher because nobody worries about to establish a system. It's ready. Then they even check each other. So it is actually good. So in the terms of negative things, people are warned easily and they have to adapt. Otherwise, they get the punishment. But in Turkey, if you can even catch if you are too strong to warn your neighbor, warn somebody in the traffic and such things, nobody cares. Even the police doesn't care. So that makes another strength in the person to survive. Maybe it's positive and they are adaptable. Then you see negative, positive, you see, okay, I can stand or not. So that's flexibility. This is also positive in Turkey, which they don't have in Europe because it's rule and rule, right? So being between, I guess, is an advantage. And when you are bored with one side, you can go to the other side.
Last question. What is your goal for 2026?
This is not only my personal goal, but with Andreas together. Personally, I would like to cover 20 projects. This is minimum goal, what I would like to have. And adding new consultant, we are going quite sustainable, let's say, in relation of new consultant, but we are quite selectively going also to choose the right one. They certainly select us also. But would be nice if we can reach a double size of ourself by end of the year, which takes a lot of effort, by the way. And personally, I'd like to make a couple of holidays if possible. We have set a couple of already.